Another thing that and I received so many lovely gifts, but this is also propped up next to my most everything else is put away, has been used, is in a in a spot. But this I also have propped up next to my computer, and it's one of the few Halloween decorations. Although I feel like this could be a fall decoration too. And I love this so much, but this came from my sweet friend Nicole Buckeye Stitcher, and oh my gosh, it's got cat hair on it because the cats rub on it. But this is just the cleverest, and I think it is so unbelievably amazing. And so she had talked about this um, designer, European designer, and I don't know if she's from Russia, or I don't even know if it's a female or a male. I don't know, but anyway, she had gotten this pattern online, and she made several of these, and then her finisher at Keepsakes finished them up. The fabric on the back could not be more perfect. I don't know if you can see that, but the pattern is in almost the same exact orange that the stitching is in. But is that not she also, her stitches are also perfection. I realized that when we sat next to each other, we had a table of, I think there were 6 or 8 of us at our table. And I mean, there were long tables, but at our actual, like, of the people that you could actually talk to, there were 6 or 8 of us. And Nicole was sitting right next to me. And she is like the perfectionist stitcher. Like every stitch, she uses that little stang nabbit when she needs to, if a stitch doesn't look quite the way she thinks it should look. And she taught me how to use that, which I have that, and I didn't really understand or know how to use it. Now I do, and I have used it, Nicole. I have used it a couple times since retreat. But her stitches are also just, an eye stitch in hand. And I'm just I mean, I just cherish. Yeah, looking at her stitches makes me think I shouldn't cross stitch anymore, because they are so, like, every single stitch is so perfect, and her threads just lay perfectly. And anyway, it's pretty amazing. And then just one last little, just really unique, and again, so many amazing gifts from people and lovely things. And I bought some things, and but Miss Suzette, Primitive Stitcher, and several other people have shown these, but this is just such a clever thing. So if you've seen this already, this is, I think, either a Bath and Body candle or a Yankee. It was a Yankee candle in here, and she said she scrubbed them, scrubbed them, scrubbed them. Dishwasher, hand washed, did all kinds of things, and couldn't quite. I mean, it's perfect. You can't tell there was ever a candle in there, but she said it still kind of smelled like candle. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but so that's why she put the candy in there. But the thing was, she made these pin cushions and put little magnet, which you can't even kind of fill it at the bottom, and then it magnetizes to the jar, and you have a little pin cushion. And so I have this next to my sewing machine because it's nice to have a nice tall pin cushion, and I've been trying to only occasionally eat that candy. So those were just a few of the amazing things I got as gifts. And yeah, it was a wonderful time. It was really a fantastic time. So okay, I'm gonna do FFOs next, and then whips, and which will include a little bit of stash. I've gotten a ridiculous amount of stash in the last 3 months. I have been on an absolute buying spree, and while I was fairly restrained in Amana, I still bought a ton. I mean, restrained for me. Bought quite a few Brenda Gervais things. I really wasn't going to buy that much because I can get it all at Julie's, but her shop was so cute. Her little pop-up shop was so cute, and with models, and and once again you see something in a model and it makes all the difference in the world. And so did buy quite a few things from Brenda, a few things in the little quilt and cross stitch store. Yeah, just some really just fun stuff. Fun stuff. Come on, you want to come in, baby? Okay, so as far as FFOs go, I have a couple, and again there have been a couple of gifts given, but really I haven't gotten a whole lot of stitching done, just because of work and activities and whatever. So, but here's I should have found a better way to do this. Here is one FFO. So this is a Mill Hill kit. I forget. I think it's part of the Harvest series. I'm pretty sure. And I actually started this a year ago in August, at the end of August, the day that we took Maddie to school. I started this on the ride on the way home, and only got a few stitches in because then I ended up driving. But I finished it really quickly, and I misplaced the beads. I could not find the beads for it, and I knew they were somewhere where I put them so I wouldn't forget where they were, and couldn't find them. So when we were so I gave up and put it away, and just thought I'm just gonna have to go buy beads for it because I just don't know. Well, when we got the fall decorations out on September 1st, I found the beads. I had put them in a little fall cup that I had packed away, and so I went ahead and just a few days later and beaded it and finished it. And I love this. It's just, yeah, those little Mill Hill kits, there's just something about them. They're so cool. And so I have this hanging on this cabinet back here. It has a knob for the top door, and it hangs there, and it's as you can see, a dark brown cabinet, and so it really stands out and looks pretty there. The next thing that I finished for me, well, I finished this a long time ago, and then sorry, I have my camera backwards today, and so I keep forgetting where to look. And then Julie framed it, and the first frame that she ordered for it was ruined in the flood that she had in her shop, and so we had to wait for the frame to come in because it was the most perfect frame. And so the frame came in, and she got it all framed for me. And so this is Brick House Sampler by Brenda Gervais, framed. And it's so interesting to see this. I love it. I think it's so cool. The frame, you can't really tell, but the frame has some blue and some kind of pinky red in it, just a little bit. It's mostly just a dark, dirty brown, but it is the most perfect frame for it. Julie's a genius when it comes to framing. So, and then of course, she puts the wire on the back, which is the best for hanging things, and the little stoppers so it doesn't mark up the wall. But this is so fun. I don't know. I'm gonna have to stand up. This is so fun to look at other people. I've seen this done now by a couple different people, including my friend Jen Reagan, Jen's Stitching Niche. I used a real grungy Ada that was hand dyed by Teresa Vignette Kitten Stitcher, and to be honest with you, I really thought that I would start this and it would take me years to finish, and I just kind of went, well, this will work, and then I started stitching it and I couldn't put it down, and I finished it in less than a month. But excuse me. But this fabric was quite a bit darker on this side, as you can see, and a lot lighter on that side, and I loved that about it. And it's so cool. I mean, I just think it's so fun how old and grungy it looks. But it's really interesting to see how different it looks by those folks who have done it on a clearer fabric, you know, more of a white or an off-white or a cream, but that's more solid and less modelly. It just gives it a completely different look. And so anyway, I absolutely love this. This is probably one of my all-time favorite pieces. Yeah, so that's framed and hanging up, and I am slowly turning our front living room and dining room into a sampler room. So that's my first one, and I have a couple more. Okay, so the next piece that I finished and then FFO'd myself was Ye Old Crow, and now I'm gonna forget who this. It's just a little book. I completely forget who this is by. Maybe. I feel like it's a hands-on design. No. I feel like it's a hands-on design or a heart and hand, but that doesn't seem right. But anyway, it's Ye Old Crow, and I am considering this a sampler just because it's got the letters, the alphabet. Finished this in a very short period of time. It was a quick stitch. There are a couple of mistakes in it. And then my friend Deb had given me a couple years ago these round frames that she had. And I brought this because I have them both hanging up. So I don't have this in the front sampler room. I have this hanging in the bathroom because that's where this is hanging. If you remember, I finished this last year. And this is a Prairie Schooler. It's from the autumn or like harvest. It has a witches and the turkey with the pumpkins, and then a harvest, like a barn scene. And I'm actually working on the barn scene now. But so the frames were, I think the frames were gold, like a gold color, and I just painted them. I'm not sure why I chose the colors that I painted this. I may have to redo that in a dark brown, but anyway, so I have these both hanging in the bathroom, and then I think once fall is over, I'll hang this as a sampler in the sampler room. Maybe take this out. So that was the next finish, and then the last thing, I was really close to finishing this. I don't want you to see the back. The back finishing isn't. I didn't do a good job. I was really close to finishing this in my last video, or I was just pulling it out and it was close to finish, and so I did. And so this is Harvest Delivery. It's amazing how big these are. This is Harvest Delivery, Plum Street Samplers. And all I had left to finish was the 1860, a little bit of the horse to fill in, and some of the flowers up here. So it was a really quick finish. And then I bought this frame at Hobby Lobby. I'm sorry, Goodwill, for, I don't know if it was $1.99 or something like that, and painted it and framed it. So yeah, love how that turned out too. This probably isn't the most perfect frame for this. It's a little bit big. There's a lot of blank space, but you know, if I find a better frame at some point in time, I can always reframe it.